Women in the construction industry in the Eastern Cape are calling for greater government intervention to address various challenges that they face in the sector. They voiced their concerns during the Women in Built Environment Colloquium hosted by the Provincial Department of Public Works, Infrastructure and Human Settlements, currently underway in Makhanda. This initiative is part of ongoing efforts to transform the construction and property industry, aiming to help women gain greater access to the mainstream construction sector. SABC News reporter Lerato Fekisi filed this report.
We're broadcasting live from Makhanda in the Eastern Cape, where the conversation this afternoon is going to focus on, one, how to get women into construction, two, how to ensure that they grow within the construction sector, and then also how to make sure that they're able to participate in the economic benefits that come with construction. Another topical issue will be the overall national issue right now of extortion, where you have male constructions wanting to leave the sector, and then how do you get women in a time where extortion is a huge issue for people in the construction sector. But this afternoon, I am joined by the MEC of Human Settlement, Mrs. Pokazi Rusiti. This afternoon, the conversation is going to focus on how to ensure we get more women in a very male-dominated space, and how important it is to have such conversations, especially now as we come out of Women's Month.
Thank you very much. Yes, we're having a conversation, and we're deliberately focusing on women because of the need to ensure that women, despite the contribution that they've made in our country, they still are underrepresented, especially in the leadership role in a male-dominated, when you're talking built environment, or you're talking the property sector. So the conversation about today is that how do we come together, find strategies, mutual strategies that we're going to embark on to ensure that we have women growing into the higher echelons of the sector, find strategies in terms of protecting the existing women within the sector. This we're doing in addition to what we've already done in the past financial year, where we saw 40% of our conditional grants in the Department of Human Settlements going to women contractors, because we want women to participate in the value chain of infrastructure delivery, but not only as subcontractors, but we want them to be more contractors. And we're doing this through the empowerment opportunities. We have women incubator programs as a department, but additionally, we took a decision, and this is very clear in our policy speech, where we are saying we want to transform even the whole value chain, including the resource or your raw material supply. And this is where we are saying, as women, let's talk about what bottlenecks do we need to tackle to ensure that we address challenges that are impacting the women that are already within the sector, but what is stopping women to contribute even further beyond what we've already given them.
Then, MNC, in your conversations, obviously you get to meet these women in construction. They tell you every day the day-to-day challenges. Besides it being male-dominated, what other challenges are you seeing women face as they try to dominate in this space?
Okay. Part of those challenges relate to access to financing. And that's why today we called into the conversation financing institutes, because it's difficult for them to access finance, especially for a built environment, whether you're talking ECDC, whether you're talking SIFA, and you're talking private banking. And these the lack of finance ensures that they continue to be exposed and abused by your bigger contractors, which then funds them in a way. But secondly, is the fact that there is almost some gatekeeping amongst whether you're calling male, whether you're calling white, big constructions, that would ensure that they keep whatever portion they have of the sector to themselves. And now ours is that what policies can we create in line with what is there in law to ensure that we package part of what we have as government to only be accessed by women. And this includes setting aside the 40% we had targeted for ourselves last year, but in delivery, we know that where we stand in the last year's budget, 65% went to women, it went to young contractors, it went to contractors of people living with disabilities. And that's the only way we can use what government is in control of to ensure that we transform the sector. But further than that, we want to transform the property ownership. And this means that who we are listing our government offices from, is mainly focusing on women. We are focusing on young people. We're focusing on people living with disabilities so that we empower women property owners, we empower women property developers, and we ensure that we capacitate them for greater development.
Then lastly, MEC, a huge topical issue and a concern for many construction and business owners is the issue of extortion, especially in the Eastern Cape. We've seen in Mthatha, we've seen in Gqeberha as well, and now also trickling into Makhanda, where people are saying they want to leave the sector because of extortion. Now you're trying to bring females into that environment. What safety net is the government going to put into place, or policies to safeguard women in such a space that's already male-dominated and now faces the brunt of extortion?
Okay, I think with any other crime or social challenge, the issue of extortionists will need us to work together. We are particularly motivated by the campaign led by National Minister Senzo Mchunu, and we are reaping the rewards of that work already in Mthatha and partly in Gqeberha. But the issue for us is that communities must take ownership of the investment that government is making in their communities, because the infrastructure delivery can be a catalyst for socio-economic development in our society if only we all take responsibility in protecting it. We know who are leading these construction mafias. The communities have a responsibility to protect the infrastructure development in their own areas. But beyond that, it needs us to work together as the different spheres of government, as the different stakeholders within the delivery of infrastructure in our province, to ensure that we cut out and we rip out all criminal elements in the sector. And it's not only direct extortion. There are other elements where you find main contractors would literally be hamstringing the subcontractors. And you find that women are then subjected to doing inhumane things for them to protect their subcontracting in a particular context. So there are different forms of the extortionists, and these forms require us as government to play a leading role to ensure that we protect these contractors. And this ensures that what policies need to be strengthened, what policies need to be enforced, because in some areas these policies are there, the enforcement would be lacking.
Thank you so much. Well, there's the MEC of Human Settlements, Bokazi Lusiti, speaking about the issue of women in construction, speaking about the funds that have been made available for women to grow in the sector, but also just highlighting the issue of extortion, saying that's a national crisis that needs a joint standing of various sectors to ensure they fight this, but also saying it's also responsibility of the community members who at times know who the perpetrators are to come forward and assist government to safeguard the construction sector, but saying that there is a future for women in construction and it's going to take some time, but definitely is possible. For now, let's go back to the studio.